baby coach comparatively. And she is truly just one of the legends of Beachbody. But in my eyes, somebody that I have just, I mean, the most incredible respect for. And that doesn't just come from a like, she's a badass, look what she's accomplished. It comes from like lots of conversations with people like Jeff Hill and other people that I hold in high regard that have told me about how Julie really leads and what's important. And I've had so many conversations where people have said, you and Julie are on the same page, you and Julie are on the same page. And I'm like, oh, that means our hearts are on the same page, you know, but we are no BS too. And it's hard to find those people. It's hard to find those people that are all about integrity and character and the why behind this, but also like know how to just go gangbusters and go after it. And that is a gift that I feel like I've been given. I've always said, and Julie and I were chatting a couple weeks ago about kind of the seesaw effect. And I led a training for a Super Saturday a while back, and I was making slides, and I was like, what is the image I can put up here so they get this? And I was like, I need a seesaw. I need this seesaw where you have to do both things in this business. You have to have this heart and this vision and do all the inside work and the visualization and the gratitude and the, like, I am so freaking big on that morning process stuff. But if that's all you do, you're going to be like a bleeding heart that's never going to close a deal, you know? And so you have to have the other side. And that's tracking. That's know your numbers, know this as a business, know the compensation plan, know how many, you know your, like somebody, I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's a consultant the other day, and he's like, well, what's your engagement on Instagram? And I was like, well, and I kind of gave him some like blasé answer. And he was like, well, tell me how much this person has. And I was like, well, they have this many followers and they get this many likes. And he was like, so they have a 3% engagement. Your engagement is actually 0.08%. And I was like, oh, okay, good to know my numbers. Like, you have to know your numbers or you can't increase, you know? And so that's just a really simple example of you've got to know your numbers in this business. And so what he was asking me from a consultant standpoint, he's just a friend of mine. He's like, why do you want more followers? What is that going to do? Isn't it about the engagement? And I'm like, yeah, it's about the engagement. He's like, so you don't want more followers. You need to get your % engagement up. And I was like, whoa, that's totally different when I go to post tomorrow morning on Instagram thinking my 300 or my 3% engagement would look like 750 likes, and I get like 100 something. So I'm like, all of a sudden I'm looking at what I'm posting on Instagram very differently. I'm like, whoa, okay, how are we going to get this to go from 200 to 700? You know, it's not always about these random things that we think it's about. When you drill down into your numbers, you start to have direction in your business. And this is a really great, this is another example that I'm going to give you because it's so simple. And I really got this when I became a new coach and I started mentoring other coaches, that I would have my coaches, and they still do, they come to me all the time and they're like, you know, I'm hitting Success Club. I've been hitting Success Club. I'm a Success Club all-star. And my income's not growing, or this isn't growing, and I hit Success Club every month, but God, I just can't get to Success Club 10. I just barely get to Success Club 5 every month. And I say, okay, well, how many are you inviting? And they don't have an answer. Because you guys, they're coming to me defeated, emotional, feeling like they're failures. And I'm like, no. Get the emotion out of this. This is a mathematical equation. You tell me how many people you're inviting over the last 6 months on average, and you're hitting Success Club 5, all you have to do is double that number, and you will double your Success Club points. This is a mathematical equation. This is not a time or place for feeling like failures, feeling like you're not cut out for this. And that's what knowing your numbers gets you in this business. It gets your emotions out of it. And I'm not some cold-hearted, I am a business-minded person, but that doesn't mean I have a cold heart. I'm not here to say, this is all a numbers game. But a huge part of this, you guys, is a numbers game. And the numbers game is what is going to keep you sane. And then you're going to do all that feel-good work, like focusing on your wins, writing down your gratitude, doing your visualization in the morning, you know, all of that goal setting, that heart stuff, that stuff that's going to fire you up every single morning. So when we talk about tracking in this business, we're talking about both sides of that seesaw. We're not, for me at least, I am not talking about just tracking your invites, just tracking your Instagram engagement, just tracking your number of follow-ups. The most important thing I want you to track in your life, in your business, the most important thing I want you to track in your business are two things. Are you reading your vision every single day? Do you have a vision, number one? And if you don't, let's start there. But before I track invites, before I track follow-ups, before I track all that, yes, I have to track all that. But none of that honestly matters because none of it's going to work for me unless I am checking the box every single day that I have read my vision, reviewed my goals, and journaled where and how I am winning every day. Because you guys, when you start to get to the top and you start to acquire all these things that most coaches want, you know, oh, I want to be a Success Club All-Star. I want to be a legend. I want to be top 100. I want to be elite. The things that come at us are way harder to handle. It's not, oh my gosh, my best friend said something kind of that like hurt my feelings, or 3 people ghosted me. It's like, oh my God, I just opened up my back office and we lost $4,000 because I made a stupid mistake on a Wednesday night. And if you don't have a really freaking strong mindset game, those types of blows will take you out. When you have an elite coach tell you she's going to quit and it feels like half your business is going to go away overnight that you've worked day and night to build over the last 3, 4, 5, 7 years, that's a really tough blow. And the only way you stay in the game is the mindset work every single day. Every single day. So I want to talk about tracking as a whole, like cohesive system. So, you know, I wrote this planner. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about it, the Rise Up Planner. Who has Rise Up? Anybody? Some of you? Oh, I love you guys. Thank you. You know, I did not write this, and I can't help but talk about my faith a little bit. So I hope that doesn't offend anyone, but I did not write this ever to make a penny. When I set out to write Rise Up, I went to corporate knowing that I couldn't produce something that I would ever profit off of it. And they said, yes, you're correct. You can't write something and ever profit off of that. It's just Beachbody PMP. And I was like, okay, I hear you, God. Like, I hear you loud and clear. And it was just this calling on my life that said, Moira, you have figured out in a year and a half, 2 years, I became number 5 in the company. And I had to look at what I was doing. There was a proven method that got me there. And it wasn't just me. It wasn't because I'm a magical unicorn. It was a system. The reason I was number 5, you guys, and this is really important, and I'm going to kind of do some asides here because I think it's so important to hear this stuff. When I became the number 5 coach, I was so freaking proud because my team was about this big, like so tiny. I recruited, on average, 10 coaches a month that year. 10 coaches a month. And I was signing up discount coaches too. So I was maybe signing up 5 coaches a month that like maybe wanted to do something with the business. And how in the world did I become the number 5 coach? Because my leaders were having immense success. I was popping star diamonds like insanity. So that's what I looked at. I was like, okay, it's not just working in my business. What I am teaching my team, they're having more success than almost anyone else, like star diamond rank advancement wise. So this system that I'm teaching really works, and I just want everyone to know it and have it. And it's the seesaw, guys. What I was teaching them was, you need a journal, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to wake up every single day, no matter how bad life sucks or no matter how good life is, you're going to write it down. because this business is hard. This business isn't hard, actually. This business is actually really easy and really simple. But the amount of like no's that we get and doors slammed in our face and ghosting and all that stuff, that's hard because it kind of just chips away day after day after day after day, right? And so if you are not focused on the wins as those things happen to you, it will slowly chip away at you over time, and you will walk yourself right out of the greatest opportunity that has ever landed in your lap. And so when I wake up in the morning, literally, no matter where I am in the world, and I've been traveling a ton these last couple years, I walk into the kitchen, I shoot my Energize, and I open up the back of this journal, and I write, and I think back on the day before, and I think, how did life show up for me yesterday? I could totally list 20 things that went down the tubes yesterday, but I've got to dig deep some days and look for the wins. And a lot of my coaches or people that use this are like, well, there's not always wins. And I'm like, oh, no. Do not go there. There are always wins in your day. Always. That win might be that, you know, I got to enjoy a few hours with my kids in the middle of the day because I've got this amazing opportunity where I don't have to be stuck in a cubicle. Maybe it's I connected on the phone with a coach and we talked for 30 minutes and just had an amazing conversation. And that's a huge part of why I'm doing this, is just connection. So it doesn't have to be, I hit Success Club 20, or I rank advance somebody, or I rank advance. Like, we're not looking for these tangible business wins. We're looking for life wins. Because you guys, you can take away all the business wins and all the business accomplishments, and I would wake up and do this work every single day in my life because of what is in this book of wins in the back. And there's so much power in that in the day. And so again, this does tie back to tracking because I check the box that I write in my book of wins every single day. I track that behavior. But I will tell you, yes, it sets me up to just feel good every morning and feel like I'm winning. But there are multiple days throughout the month that life really comes at me. And it really feels like I suck in comparison. And I also want you to understand that, like, and I try to get my team to understand this, it does not matter if you're an emerald, a diamond, an elite coach, a 15-star diamond in the top 10. Whatever you're surrounded with is hard. You know, my girls are like, I'm only at Success Club 5, and I feel like everyone else is like getting star diamond. And I'm like, oh, well, the circle that I'm like chit-chatting with is all like at Success Club 153. You know, like, we all face it. We just think that the other people a higher rank than us don't. Every single person is up against the comparison game. And you've got to be mentally strong. And I was listening to this speech from this college baseball coach. He was talking to my son's baseball team, and he said, you know, he called him out on it, and he said, you are mentally weak. You are mentally weak. If you are like, oh, I suck. You know, they're better than me. We can't win. And I was like, ooh, I will take that challenge because I am not going to be mentally weak. I will rise above. And so you've got to take that challenge, and you've got to put in the mindset work to not be mentally weak, because this job will challenge that for you every day. And so focus on the wins. Focus on the wins every single day of your life. It is the biggest thing you can do. And then the next thing I do after I shoot my Energize, write my book of wins, I flip back and I do 2 more things before I go work out. I look at my goals. So yearly, and I take a big, like a deep dive in December into what I want my 2020 goals to be this coming year. You know, I took all of December of last year to figure out what were my 2019 goals. And every single day, 365 days a year, I look at them again in the morning. And so I never lose sight of what am I doing this for? Where am I going? And when I go to invite and when I go to post and when I go to mentor my team and whatever I do throughout my workday, I know where I'm going and why I'm going there. So yearly goals, monthly goals, and my absolute favorite is weekly goals. Because weekly goals, you guys, are so radically different than monthly goals. And I always use the example of Success Club 20. Because I don't know about you guys, but tomorrow morning in my team page, without any prompting, which I love, they're just like in the rhythm, somebody will post their monthly goals and then everybody will follow suit. And every single person, probably 80% of my team will put SC20 on their goal board. And then they barely hit SC5 by the end of the month. And then it'll be November 1st. And it'll be SC20. And then they'll maybe not hit Success Club or barely hit Success Club. And I'm like, there is a big disconnect here, guys. Either change the goal or change what you're doing every day. You know, because it breaks my heart to see you fail every single month. And so you've got to reverse engineer this. And so reverse engineer can be like a scary fancy word for some people, but you guys, it's this simple. If Success Club 20 is your goal for November or October, say Success Club 20 is your goal for October. This is so fun. I love this. Like, I love looking at my month and dissecting this. So we'll say tomorrow's the 1st. I know it's the 30th, but it's almost the 1st, right? So guess where you have to be by Friday? There's 4 weeks in a month. You divide 20 by 4, and that means you got to hit Success Club by the end of the week. How different is that than tomorrow morning on a Monday morning, first Monday of the month, going, I'm going to hit SC20 this month. That's what I'm going for. Versus, okay, that means you got to hit Success Club 5 by Friday, because nobody signs up for challenge packs on Saturday or Sunday, at least not in my world. So I got to get those numbers in by Friday. That means I have to be, all of my behaviors are aligning to that weekly goal. And I can remember last January, it was Friday afternoon. January was like insanity. And just trying to hustle as hard as I could, top of the year. And I had to go speak at a retreat for Ashley Smith. And I was so looking forward to this amazing, they were like putting us up at the Ritz for the night. It was just like, I was like, are you joking? This is amazing. So her husband's really good friends with my husband. So my husband and I were getting in the car Friday morning and we were driving 4 hours out of town to go to the retreat. And I just was like, could not wait. And I got in the car Friday morning and I got my coffee and I got my planner out and I've got my phone and I'm working. For like 2 hours, I'm working. I don't know what I'm doing. It's what we all do when we work, right? 2 hours goes by. And all of a sudden, I just glanced to the left of my planner and I'm like, oh, I see what my weekly goal was that I wrote down on Sunday night, because I write down my weekly goals every Sunday night. And it was that monthly goal divided down. And I think that was a really good month for me. I'm not a super high Success Club point earner, but I want to say that it was the last week of the month and it said SC60. And I was at Success Club 52. It might have been SC50 and I was at 42, something like that. I was 8 points shy of what I wanted to hit that week. And I looked at my husband and I said, how much longer till we get there? And he said, 2 hours. And I got to work. Because instead of working in the car for 4 hours with a cup of coffee, scrolling social media, chit-chatting with people randomly, all of a sudden in the next 2 hours, I needed to sell 4 challenge packs. Because when I got out of the car, I was done. I wanted to shut it off, spend time with my husband, and enjoy the day that we were looking forward to. And guess what I did, you guys? I sold 4 challenge packs in 2 hours because my conversations shifted. Because I had a very clear goal in mind and a time frame to do it. So do not make the mistake of saying, I'm going to hit SC20 by the end of the month, or SC10 or SC30, or I want to recruit 6 coaches this month. If you're going to recruit 8 coaches in October, you've got to recruit 2 by Friday. That changes the freaking game, guys. All of a sudden, you're not just putting a post up on social media about coaching. You're actually calling people saying, can we talk tomorrow at 12 noon? I've got an hour free and I just really want to connect with you on this coaching thing. You are very dialed in. And the way that I figured all this out, it couldn't have like happened more magically for me. When I came into coaching, my coach had some like really randomly weird qualification for a trip, and I was in mom and had been trapped at home for 7 years. And she was like, to go to Puerto Rico next year, you have to sign up. It was kind of complicated. It was like solid diamond, but in essence, it was 16 coaches. And I was a brand new coach. I didn't have one coach. And I remember thinking I had 4 months to do it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get 16 coaches in the next 4 months. Like, that seems doable, right? It doesn't seem impossible. I'll hustle. I know how to work hard. I'm going to kill this business. And all I did was like randomly count the weeks. And there were 16 weeks, guys. And I needed 16 coaches. And I very quickly, the light bulb went off. That was like, that's one a week. That means I have to sign someone up this week. And I went on about probably 50 coffee dates over those 4 months. I had very, very real conversations with very real people. And I poured my heart out to them, and just my desire to see this be a gift in their life like it was mine. But that kind of business action is very different than what I see with people putting calls to action up on Instagram to a couple 100,000 strangers that might be watching. You know, I really drilled down to the people and the conversations that I needed to have. And that was also, guys, where I found joy in this business. Because I can remember going on these coffee dates, having these like incredible conversations that we always ended up crying. Like, I cried, they cried, we all cried. And then I didn't care. I honestly, and I still don't care. Like, it hurts my heart if it's not the right time for you. But there's no place for anger that you're not going to sign up. There's no place for that. I would walk away and go like, I can't believe it's my job, like, to go to Starbucks. Is my job to go to Starbucks and like just connect and build relationships with awesome human beings. This is crazy. You know, like, I fell in love with what we get to do. I don't necessarily have that level of love for what we do when I'm just like DMing people all day. You know, and so I just had 2 coaches on my team, not my PS coach and my downline, hit 1-star and 2-star in like 90 days. And I got them on a call and I was like, yeah, what is happening? What are you doing? And guess what? They were spending hours a day on the phone. Hours and hours. Whether it was about a challenge group, whether it was about the coach opportunity, they have been spending hours just on the phone. I needed to hear that message. I needed to hear that message to get back to that. You are never too highly ranked or seasoned or whatever in this business to be reminded that the greatest rate of return is going to be voice to voice or face to face with our people. And so talk about tracking. And I don't know if you and I talked about this, Julie, but I actually like whipped up a tracker. I can pass it along to you guys. And it had week 1 and it had 10 faces. And then week 2 and 10 faces. And I was like, your job is to have 10 either face-to-face or voice-to-voice conversations each week. And you guys, if you tracked that, I can guarantee you that your heart would be full and your business would be booming. Now, I don't want you to miss this note, because this is something that I kind of went through with my team. I'm like, we still have to cast the invites. We still have to cast the net as wide, as far, and as deep as we can. So when I was doing that in the very beginning of my journey, and when I do that now, and when I teach my team, It's cast the net, send out 100 invites. Out of 100, guess how many are probably going to respond? 10. So duh, those are the 10 people you get on the phone with. And if you think about it that way, okay, tomorrow's the top of the month. I need to cast out 100 invitations, as many as I can. And think about it, guys. I don't know where everybody's ranked, but I can guarantee you a ton of you on this call have a follow-up list years or hundreds of people deep. What would happen with your follow-up list if instead of saying, hey girl, just want to let you know what I got going on in October, got another challenge group starting, 6 weeks of the work is coming out, don't know if you've seen it. What if you just reached out to Amber and said, hey girl, I know that you and I have been going back and forth and I've been like bugging you to do this challenge group thing. It is on my heart, like, can we just chat on the phone? I'm not going to try to like push you into something. I just really want to connect. And you get on the phone. I know it can be scary at first, but you guys, that's where the magic happens. And we all know that we don't get good at anything in this business until we just do it. You cannot personal development yourself into being good at anything. The only way you get good is by doing it. You know, I saw one of those like Instagram quote things today that was like, your first podcast will suck. Your first book will be terrible. Your first post will get no traction. Your first conversation will fail. Like every single person out there that is a best-selling author or a major podcast person or whatever they all sucked at first. And so you have to embrace the suck. You got to know that that's part of it. You know, if you saw my videos when I mean, every once in a while I'll pull one out and I was like, wouldn't move in and like, I looked like, I mean, it was like, is she frozen? What's happening there? Because I was so terrified and I wouldn't move like a millimeter. And there was no expression on my face. My lips were like nothing. And I was like, I had to suck, you know? But there were still people that I reached with my message. And the coolest thing, I think, probably for a lot of people out there is they saw the growth. They saw me get better. They saw me step into, you know, just doing this and doing it well. No one does any of this well at first. So you guys, don't be scared. And don't overthink the conversation either. I mean, the conversation is share your journey, ask them a lot of questions, and just speak to how this can change their life. Because no matter what, and this again is just my belief, and I'm sure it's Julie's belief, that it doesn't matter to me where you are stuck in your life. Whether you have postpartum and you need to shift that. Whether you are just stuck at home as a new mom and like feeling trapped in your house and need to shift that. You've got 20 extra pounds on you or 120 extra pounds on you and you need to change that. Whether you're financially strapped and that is killing you and killing your marriage and you need to change that. Whether you are, you know, can't get back and forth to the gym and just, you know, whatever it is, this is the solution. This is the solution. And you know, it's funny, I bring this up every once in a while, it bubbles back up to my brain. And I wasn't even at this event. I was a brand new coach and I heard about it. So Julie was there. It was the leadership that happened when I was like 2 months into coaching. And I remember hearing about this and just thinking like, whoa. And supposedly you guys walked in and there were 2 tickets. I might have this might be like elevator or telephone and I have this wrong. But there were 2 tickets on your table. And Carl said, you have the tickets to the 2 biggest problems that face our country, poverty and obesity. You have the tickets. You have the golden tickets to change that. And we can talk about all these promos and all this fun stuff and all this excitement and challenge packs and success club points. But you guys, if you don't have the belief in that what we are doing is not only changing lives, but saving lives, then you need to dial in your own journey. Because that's the work that we get to do. And when I don't want to post, and when I don't want to invite, and when I don't want to follow up and check the things on my tracker, I have to remind myself of that. And guess where I'm reminding myself of that every day? In my vision. Because my vision speaks to that. My vision speaks to the team that when I was not even an Emerald coach, that I envisioned. And I read every morning that my team is, we are, I am, those I am statements that are so powerful. I didn't read a vision, and I still don't read a vision that says one day I will have. It says my team is built by women like this, and we are changing the world, and we do life together, and we have each other's backs, and they are my best friends and my most amazing business partners. And we are building an extraordinary life together, and we are changing other women's lives every day. That's the vision I wrote when I wasn't even an Emerald coach. And sure, my vision had really lofty things in there, like I'm a top 10 coach, I'm a superstar. I didn't even know what superstar meant, but I wrote those things down. So your vision should be a blend of your business goals, but that deeper stuff. You know, I talked about in my first vision about like the life that we were able to give our children because of this business. The opportunities and the things that we didn't have the money to buy at the time, but also because of where I saw us going, I talked about how my family gave back to our community in really big ways and what we were able to do financially. And that some days, this is why your vision has to be big, guys, because some days it's the, I want to be number 2. I want to get there, you know, that's going to drive me some days. And some days number 2 doesn't matter at all. And some days it's, oh my God, you know what goes in my vision? The fact that I can walk into my children's school and give in a way that I never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would financially be able to give, to make an impact in children's lives, to give to our church that's going to shape children and families generationally. That's what drives me most days. So that vision has to speak to you. So when you're tracking, it's got to be the heart stuff and the business stuff. Without the heart stuff, you won't ever do the business stuff. So you got to track both. And you guys, it just kind of goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. For the business side of things, you can't increase your business without knowing your numbers. You know, I can look at my own numbers and say, I am very dialed in this year with success starters because, you know, I was pushing for top 10. Top 10 is a very number 1 goal for me this year. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do for top 10? That's a business numbers like game for me. I'm like, okay, I need to get as many success starters as I can. So how many do I need to recruit? How many do I need to get in month 1, assuming there's going to be fall off? So how many do I need to have in month 2 success starters? So then how many are going to drop off, and how many am I going to kind of guarantee myself that I can do and get every single month for success starters? So I'm always producing success starters. That's a numbers game. And when I look at that, I can look at the trends. I can go, I only had 1 success starter that month. What happened? And I can look back and I can go, oh, well, 3 months before that, I recruited way less coaches. That's why I had way less success starters 90 days later. So then my business activities can switch. I can go, okay, I need to run more sneak peeks. I need to do more coach opportunity calls. I need to post more about the coaching opportunity. I need to talk, maybe I'm not talking about this enough. There's so many moving parts to this business And until you clearly define what your goals are, you can't reverse engineer what your daily activities need to be. Your daily activities. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? You know, I used to run one sneak peek a month last year and ended up missing the grease strip by one. I was like, okay, we're not gonna let that happen again. We're either gonna give it up or we're gonna go for it and be smart. And so I needed to shift my numbers game. I needed to go, okay, this is what I did last year and missed the mark. I need to like double, triple down on that if I'm gonna give myself any breathing room and really go for this goal. So that means I need to run this many sneak peeks. That means I need to do all the things, right? You know, to get that high up on the leaderboard, you've got to have lots of PSSC, you've got to, all that stuff. So I'm always looking at my numbers. I will tell you that one of, this is something that you should really, really just bring into your daily business practices. At 8 a.m., sometimes it's like 8:10, 8 a.m. every single morning, Monday through Friday, that's when my back office usually rolls over. I open up my back office and I track my 2018, 2019 coaches, because I mean, not that I don't care about my old coaches, but they're like in my diamond family, and you know, I'm all, you know what I mean. But for PSSC and all of that and elite points, 2018, 2019 coaches, I look at them, and anybody that advances 2 more Success Club points, that gets 2 more points in the back office, I message them immediately. Oh my God, girl, you just went from 2 to 4. You only need 1 more person to hit Success Club. It's such an amazing business practice for a lot of reasons, because it drives what you're going for. You need more coaches hitting Success Club. But guys, it also drives this. It drives one of our vital behaviors, recognition. And it feels so freaking good to give recognition. So good. And it fills my heart. And so I'm not exaggerating when I'm all about, like, who's been to Tony Robbins? Anybody been to Tony Robbins? Julie Boris, have you not been to Tony Robbins? Oh my gosh. Okay, Tony's just really big. I mean, like all the personal development guys, like you gotta feel it, you gotta say it, you gotta be loud, you gotta like physically be there. And so when I open my back office at 8 o'clock every single morning, you will see me in my kitchen going, yes, 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 because that's how I wanna feel about my business. I could choose to open up my back office and focus on the probably 4,000 zeros, the 300 inactives, the 4 people that just dropped rank, the bonus that I just missed. It's all there every single day. It is a bloodbath that I could choose to focus on. But instead, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yes, girl. Oh my God, you just got it. And then the next one. I am focused on the good. You've got to focus on the good. There is no more good and no more bad in any single one of these squares. It's up to you to choose to focus on it. So Julie and I were we've been a little crazy. I've been stuck at a baseball tournament for like 36 hours this weekend, and she's been traveling. So the tracker, we kind of talked about like making, and I can just tell you this, guys, because, and for those of you guys that have Rise Up, you already have this. But if you don't have Rise Up, what I would do tonight for October is I would take 4 sheets of paper. So you have 1 for each week. And I would write yearly, monthly, weekly goals in real big on the top of each one. So you know what your end of year goals are, 2 or 3 of them each. Your monthly goals, 2 or 3 of them, and then your weekly goals. And you are gonna look at that every single morning. And then under that is your Success Club Success Club System Tracker, is that what it's called? Or your BAT, your Business Activity Tracker. And you're gonna track what you need to do each day. It's a cohesive thing that all goes together. And then what I would include in 2 little tiny squares, and this will change your life, you guys, and change your business. You are going to write down your wins every day, and you are going to read your vision every day. So that one sheet of paper, right? You're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to look at those yearly, monthly, weekly goals. You're going to read your vision, and you're going to jot down in a journal how life is showing up for you instead of against you. That should literally take you 10 or 15 minutes every day. That's it. Review my goals, read my vision, jot down my wins. Done. 10 minutes. Tony says, if you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. 10 minutes. That's it. And then you're going to look at that business activity tracker, and you are going to be motivated to do the work, because you're going to be reminding yourself why you are doing the work every day. And you're going to show up. And you're going to show up in a smarter way. You're going to show up not just blasé, throwing spaghetti on the wall, working, quote unquote, air quotes. You're going to wake up and you're going to have direction. And you're going to have purpose. And you're going to have focus. And when you shift what you're doing in your day-to-day, your results change. Right? So I don't want to keep going and going and going, because I could be here for hours. And I do have a 9 o'clock call. But I would love to take questions if you guys have them. And I hope that helped in some way. But guys, tracking, like I don't know how anyone runs a business if they're not tracking their business. Like you just can't. You can't. You have to know what you're doing, or there is no way to improve it.
So the thing that I want to talk about briefly before we take questions and before we do our little thing at the end that I'm going to do is the piece that I kept coming back to that I know, but I have forgotten my own self, is data takes the emotion out of everything. Data, information. And we get this, because I feel like this when I start to do like my bank account, you know, they're just numbers. It's just data. There's no emotion. Money's not bad, good. Well, I'm not bad or good. My husband's not bad or good. My account's not bad or good. It's just data. And when you really dig into the data, then you make, as you said, the better decisions that align with what your goals are. But if you don't even know the data, then it's all emotion, which your feelings are feelings, but they may not be getting you to your goal. So the more you concentrate on the black and white and here is the data. Okay, I want to get to this, but I'm only inviting one person every 3 days. Well, that's just data. That's not emotion. You're not a bad person, a better person, a bad coach. It's just, this is what you're doing. This is the data. And I think that is such a huge shift for a female to make. Not a male, because they're not emotionally driven. You know, they're data driven. But a female is emotionally driven. And if we can shift to thinking about the data as much as we think about how much we love what we're doing, I think that's a huge mindset shift.
Yeah, absolutely. We just happened to meet with a financial planner the other day for the first time. And it was the same thing. He's like, you know, where's it going? And we're like, I don't know. And it was the same eye-opening thing. Like, unless you have specific goals and future plans, like you can absolutely attain them. All of you guys can absolutely attain what you want to attain. Yes. But if you don't have the direction with the data, you will be, I mean, it says it in the compound effect, like, you know, 2 airplanes take off in Los Angeles and one degree variance, and they end up in like New York and Miami.
Yeah.
Like you gotta know where you're going, and you have to do those checkpoints too. Like, am I still on track, or do I need to readjust? That's really important too.
Okay, so I know you have a call at 9. So all I need you to do, and then I just need everyone else to stay on, because then I'm going to tell you what the little special prize is. Then I have to go get the information that April just sent me so that I can do it. So Moira, first of all, thank you. Secondly, is everyone taking a picture and ready to post on Instagram story? If not, do it right this second while we look cute. And third, I need you to pick a number between, I won't say 1 because that would be wrong, between 2 and 6. Pick a number between 2 and 6.
5.
Okay, so 5 people who are live on this call tonight are going to win a copy of the Rise Up Tracker.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
You may go now, but they have to stay because if they leave, then they don't win. Must be present to win. And I have to go get my paper so that I can do like a little drop and do it. So Moira, thank you so much for being on this tonight. I so appreciate it. It was amazing. And it was just great. It was great for me personally. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, you're welcome, babe. Anytime. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I hope you guys got a lot out of it, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. Thanks, Julie.
Okay, everyone, hold on. I just have to go get the list of names that are on the call. 5. Hang on. Okay, only one printed, so you'll have to hold while I print the other one. Technology. Okay. And here's the thing. If for some reason you win it and you already have it, you may keep it, but you must give it away. Like what I'm saying is you may win it, but you must give it away. You don't have to forfeit it. You don't have to say I already have it. You just can't keep it yourself. Hold, please. He's telling me my cartridges are low on ink. Okay, so I'm gonna do 5. So I'll do 2 right now. And so here's what I have. This is a printed list of people's names, and then there's another one that's coming. And I'm just gonna drop my pencil, okay? You're just gonna have to trust me. I'm just dropping my pencil. My eyes are closed. It's not, I know it's 2019. There should probably be some really techie way to do this, but there's not. It's me dropping my pencil. Here we go. Okay. This is so funny. Amazon Warriors. I don't even know who that is. Why does that person not have a name? I saw them pop up on Zoom. Amazon Warriors. I'm like, what is that? Who are you and what is your name? Are they still on? Must be present to win. They're on. Who is Amazon Warriors? Oh, I'm circling them. Also, if you don't answer, you don't get a prize. So you got 2 seconds to answer and then I'm moving on. I'm not playing here, people. Okay, here we go. Christy Sweet! Christy Sweet, you want a tracker. You hate tracking. Good, get used to it. You need to track. Okay. Because you're going to buy a horse in 5 years. You better be tracking how you're going to get there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do one more here. I'll do the other 2 on the other sheet. Jamin Nelson. Jamin Nelson. Jamin Nelson. Jamin Nelson. Jama's always like that. She's always like never showing her face. She must be in her pajamas.
Thank you.
She must be in your pajamas.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay, hang on. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's taking forever. Okay. Plan B is, I know, who's the Amazon Warriors? That's so crazy. Okay, plan B, make sure I have the other one. Okay, so I'm just gonna open this up. I could have done this in the first place. I just liked to drop it. So this is the second page. So I'm just showing you for verification that I'm not cheating because we had to do a screenshot of 2 pages. So this is the second page. Rebecca won. Rebecca. Okay, I'm writing your name down. Low power mode. I know. It's been a long day. Okay, here we go. Liz Marcies. Liz Marcies. Am I saying that right, Liz? Marcies. Is it French or is it Spanish?
I think it's Polish or German.
Oh, really? Let's say it like it's French.
My ex-husband.
Since we're opening in France next year, let's just say it like it's Marcies. I don't know who Amazon Warriors is, and has anyone even? Yeah, I see Amazon Warriors. They've got like a little hand raise. I don't know what that
Maria
means.
Jordan. It's on. Somebody posted. Maria Jordan is Amazon Warriors. She was training. So.
Okay, so here's what I need. Amazon Warriors, if you could just change your Zoom name, because nobody knows who that is. Come on now. Christy, Jama, Rebecca, Liz. If you 5 ladies will Facebook message me, and yes, I know I should have some of your addresses. It just makes it easier for me. If you just Facebook message me your mailing address, I'm going to order them and send them out, and you shall have your own Rise Up planner. I don't know if you'll have it actually in time for October 1st, but you will have it next week. Cool? Okay, yay, that was a good one. That was a good one. Awesome. Okay, I took lots of notes. Hope you guys did too. Let's get to tracking. We got a lot to cover in 90 days. We got a lot of ground to cover, so let's get busy. Have a great week.